So feel free to ask any questions. We already have a couple, it looks like, here, so we'll get started on this. So Wes asks, how strict are your rules/guidelines for mods banning timing out? And how much of it is trust and reading the room? Did you give them a list of things?
Do you guys have answers? I'm ready to go.
You go ahead.
Talked a bunch.
I talk more than anybody on this show, every time.
Are we gonna have a talk off, Hunter?
I do have a set of guidelines. Do you have a set of guidelines for mods? Written?
Yes, I have some.
Pamphlet. Getting started pamphlet.
Work through the
like a Google Doc
binder. They all have to take the binder.
I think a lot of it's learning to my mods are part of the community, right? So it's they kind of have already got a feel of what's okay and what's not, and then they just kind of work with the mods that are older that have been around to be
hey, is this okay? Yeah, it's all about asking questions, going back and forth with the streamer. If you're not sure, if you're a mod and you're not sure, you just ask the streamer hey, this happened today, would this be something that you would want banned? And yeah, it's definitely something. Or no, that's okay. It goes back and forth. It's something that constantly, even today, I have some mods that I'm oh, you know what? No, that actually is okay. And then sometimes where there's things that don't happen that I didn't talk about because I didn't think of the situation that happened.
Yeah.
Then you can talk to them about it. There's so many situations that can happen that you can't literally put everything.
Right.
In a list.
That's one of the principles that we have in our guide tome. Watch out, kitty.
Cat transport.
And I HB Fox, who's the manager of the stream, and I both kind of put this to the fore. You as a moderator were chosen. You're the chosen one. You were chosen because of who you are and how you act and perform within the community. So your discretion is important. We're not just picking random people and going hope you abide by the rules, people who are acting responsibly and with the proper attitude and so on. So make the considerations your own, but use these as guidelines. Then we have the list of things. It's here, because there are a lot of things too that many people don't understand, how a certain joke is actually misogynistic or actually transphobic, not even understanding why it's problematic in the first place. And that can include mods. They're not perfect. They're not Jesus with a sword, figuratively on the internet.
I did mod Jesus in my chat.
Very smart moves. I've got the Dalai Lama. He's okay.
Not very active, and I.
Oh no!
So I might unmod him soon.
Well, maybe we'll get the second modding of Christ.
Oh goodness.
Well, I feel like I should. I feel like I've thought 100 times I should have a list of rules, but I don't. That's kind of on brand for me. But I should do that, and it never happens. But I think I'm super, super, super picky when it comes to mods, and it's one of those things where I wait months and months, maybe a year, and before, even if day one they're in, I'm that's a good person, I have good vibes from that, I think they make a great mod, I still wait just to see if they stick around or continue to support the channel. And another thing that I see a lot is that a lot of times community members can come in and out the gate, they're you're oh, they're so great, I'm so glad this person's here, and then the more comfortable they get, the more they show their true colors, and you're just oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no,
that's
rude or creepy or problematic, and my opinion has changed, and that can happen 5 months after they've joined the community or something. It's just
for sure. Or when they become a mod and they get more power and they get closer to you. That's another thing that
Absolutely.
I think streamers need to think about is the line of trusting your mods. There is definitely a line where community members get too attached or something, and then it's just this whole change in personality. It's definitely something that people need to keep an eye about.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I'm really careful with that, and I think just based on how much time I spend thinking about that, and how much time I spend with that community member before giving them that position, right. I think by that time they 100% get it. They're already good people, so they get it in that regard, but they've been a part of the community for so long that they've seen what gets modded, they've seen what what flies and what doesn't.
Yeah.
And it's also kind of easy because I just have a zero tolerance policy. Like, I don't like, if you come in and say something toxic, it's not a timeout. Like, you're just gone. Like, I just don't have time. I don't have energy. Like, I don't want to risk losing like community members that I really value, which there's like every person in my community is just like such a magical little being. And I don't want them for a second to feel like they shouldn't be there, or that they don't belong, or that isn't a safe space. So I'm just like, I'm zero tolerance. Like,
and it can hijack the entirety of the stream.
Yeah.
Like, your attention is now on that toxic, and even if it's a teaching moment, like, you're now having to spend that time doing it. And the more you stream, I don't think anybody's surprised by this, you end up having the exact same teaching moment for the exact same behavior over and over and over again. There's a point where you're like, maybe we don't have to rehash it again this hour. We'll give it another 2 hours before we talk about that again.
Yeah. So I don't know. I probably should type something up, but also I just think if you find the right people, they're gonna sync up with you, and they're gonna know what's good for you, but also like what's good for the community, and what's more importantly, what's bad for it, I guess, what's damaging to what you want for your channel and for your community. So it's worked out so far. Thank you, mods.